Okay, we are live.
Good day, everyone. So, I'm the host for today's conventional webinar, and my name's Chisenge Jane from Zambia. So, as we all know, today is World Mental Health Day, and of course, it is under the theme Mental Health in an Unequal World. I repeat, mental health in an unequal world. So, today's guest speaker is Trishna Dash, and I would like to introduce, or rather, to tell her introduce herself and give us a glimpse on what she thinks mental health is. Trishna, you may proceed.
Okay, good evening, good afternoon, and I don't know the timing of the timings. I don't know, but the thing is that now in Indian time it's good evening. So, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great in their place and taking care of their mental health right now. And myself, I'm Trishna Das, and I belong from Assam, Guwahati, and I have completed my bachelor's in psychology and master's in clinical psychology. And I serve as a school teacher. I'm a counseling psychologist. I'm an art therapy practitioner. I'm a neuro linguistic practitioner, life coach, and also an hypnotic therapy like practitioner, practitioner. When we talk about mental health, so everyone is aware about physical health, right? Everyone is like taking care of their physical health. But when we talk about mental health, people is like they don't even bother to think about their health mentally, like mental things. So mental health is something which talks about the state of well-being, right? It's like psychologically, socially, physically, you are in a state of balance, in an equilibrium, isn't it? So, when we take care of our physical health, the same way we should take care of our mental health. So, mental health is a wonderful concept which has been like put up in this new generation, but people are still not aware about it, what it is. So, here in this platform today, we are going to talk about how mental health, what mental health is, as I gave a short glimpse that it's basically a state of equilibrium in each aspects of your life, whether it's in your occupational, it's in your family, it's anywhere. So yeah, so why it is important, and why it is important like a physical health, because when we take care about physical health, it's not only about taking care of physically. You should also be uh, okay. I guess someone, Jen, has left. There's an internet issue. Okay. Jane will be rejoining shortly. So we let me give you a glimpse about why it is important. Uh, okay. So when we take care about our like physical health, always we should always take care of our mental health, because when you are mentally stable, your there will be some positive changes within you, and it is going to reflect in your physical health as well. Not only physical, in your social well-being also matters a lot in your when you're functioning in a society. It's not about you are physically present there, your mental presence should be there too, understand the particular situation or particular problem you face in particular society. So that's the fact that when we talk about mental health, it's not only we talk about mentally or something, but the thing is that we talk the overall aspects of a human being. Okay, overall aspects, like why which field, wherever you work or wherever you are engaged in, you are stable, you are functioning well, so that you can understand the situation, you can explore the situation, you take the situation properly and handle the situation in a proper way, in a balanced way. It's absolutely fine when someone gets stuck. It's someone is feel low, but it's basically it's we are human, and so we are bound to feel these things. So but when it gets, there are two types of stress that we take, that is eustress and distress. And eustress is something which uplifts your mood. When you get that stress, it helps to being more productive. Okay. uh, and when we talk about distress is something when people are unable to function in their daily life activities, like they cannot perform any kind of activities, they lose interest in their pleasure activities they like to do earlier, and they have stopped doing it, they are unable to go with their things. So yeah, that's a point of that's a point of mental health, why it is important. So I guess Jane and Abhijita, I don't know, Jane is going to join us shortly. I'll just wait for her. So, okay. Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear? Am I audible? Jane,
Yes, you are.
you missed out some points, I guess.
Exactly.
Uh, so, what should I
Okay.
do? Should I repeat the things?
Yes, you can give me a brief something.
Brief idea, right?
You can brief
Yeah,
me.
I was just telling
Yeah.
our audience that mental health is not it's not only talks about only mental aspects. It is related. It is connected with each and every aspects of our life, whether it's emotional, psychological, social, whatever aspects you're engaged in. Mental health is important in every aspect, so that you can tackle or you can deal with each and every situation in a balanced way, in a proper way, in a healthy way, isn't it? So it's when we talk
Yeah.
about the definition of mental health, it's affects what the state of well-being, okay, the overall well-being of a particular person. So it affects how we think, how we act, and how we feel actually, like how we are taking this particular situation, how we are feeling for that particular situation, and how we are acting for that particular situation. So it totally depends on that. And I have just mentioned that there are two stress in the society that I guess everyone has felt about it, that we have two stress, that is eustress and distress. Eustress is which talks about a stress that gives you a push up, that I need to do one work if I'm not unable to do it right now. Let's give a new start, okay? But what about distress? Distress is something which is positive stress. Distress is something which makes a particular individual like lose interest from his pleasure activities, daily functioning of their life, unable to cope up with the daily stressors, isn't it? So I was just talking about that. Then also,
Yes.
yeah, it is really very important uh, from our childhood. Mental health, when we are when we come out and see this world, when we are in this world as a newborn baby, the mental health aspect starts from that point of time till the later adulthood, isn't it? So it's really very important to focus on our each and everyone's mental health in this as different stages of life,
Yes.
right? So I guess you have felt it in your stage at there are different stages in your life, isn't it? And even
Yes,
me, I
right.
have different stages of my life, and I have to focus. And there are different difficulties in every stages of
Uh-huh.
life, and we have to tackle
Very.
different things in different way. So that mental state, that well-being that you maintain, that balance that you maintain in your life, it's really very important, and we should focus on this. And that's why we came into this platform to talk about why mental health is important, and how it's, how we should make aware people about why it is important, and how it is important as like a physical health and other health issues that we take upon in our daily lives, right? You're not audible, Jane. I guess you're not audible. I can't hear you.
Yes, right.
Yeah, you want to add something?
Well, articulate Trishna, thank you so much. So now, Trishna, protecting and promoting the rights of people.
You're not audible actually.
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you. I can't hear you actually. It's not clear. It's not clear, Jane.
Can you hear me?
You're stuck. Yeah, you were about to ask something. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Now I can't hear you.
You can hear me now?
Uh, yes.
Can you
Just
hear
this,
me now?
just a second. I guess you. Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Jane. Like it's very slow. The things are coming very.
Can you hear? You can hear
Yes,
me?
yes, Jane. You can continue, Jane. I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, Jane. You can continue. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I was saying that was very well articulated. Thank you so much. It was well said. So now I was asking to say protecting and promoting the rights of people severe mental severe mental health issues. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but
Okay.
not. It's not
So
clear
I'm
actually.
saying
Yeah.
protecting and promoting. Can you
I
hear me?
guess. I guess there is some network issue. I guess. From, can you just check your internet connection, Jane? Or either you change your the place you are there right now. You just change the place. I guess there is some network issue. Okay. So I guess she is unable to join the. Yeah, she's unable to join us. Jane is unable to join us. So Abhijita has put up question, that is protecting and promoting the rights of people with severe mental health conditions and psychosocial disabilities, especially critical in humanitarian emergency. What is your take on this statement? Okay, thank you so much, Abhijita and Jane, to forward this question. Protecting and promoting the rights of people with severe mental health conditions. This has been a huge issue in this world. In this, I won't say in this world, like in this society, that uh, people are going through lots of issues, and still they're not protected. Their things are not being diagnosed properly. Like people with mental health conditions around this world are exposed to so many human rights violations actually. So the stigma that they face means they often, like in the society, they fail to receive that care, like the actual care they need. They actually fail to get that care from that society, from the mental health professionals, from doctors, and any other, from other departments of healthcare system. So they actually require the services and the support to lead a lead a good life in the community, isn't it? So in I can see, I remember that in some communities, people with some mental health conditions are still vanished, and it was vanished to that edge that they're left semi-naked. Okay, so semi-naked or in rags or tied up and beaten and left to go hungry, because they think that okay, this this man or this woman or this child or this human, this person is not meant to be in this society, and we should just put him into some kind of, either we threaten him or do something and just leave him where he is. We can, in Indian families, or we can mostly see that in some families, when person go through different mental health conditions actually. So they never think that we should take this person to the hospital, or we should take this person to the emergency room or psychiatric department. They will always just think that this is the burden for us, and we should throw out of our house, and we are not taking going to take care of this. So this is basic. You can see that in some families, we can see here there are lots of homeless people who are going through a lot of mental health conditions, and not and these conditions are not from, because they're homeless or something. Homeless is a way, like, it's a cause that it can be one of the cause, but there are some issues they are going through from their childhood, their adulthood life, that because of that issues they are still, tackling or dealing with this mental health conditions. So people, and also in some areas, in some areas, whether it's urban or it's rural, mostly in the rural areas, we can see that the accessibility, the resources are very less. People don't have a home to stay. They have deprived of clothing, decent bedding in their hospitals, clean water, proper toilet facilities, and etc. etc. And there is so much of abuse and neglect in that hospital itself that people are bound to have such issues in their life. Okay, so people with this mental health conditions face lots of discrimination on their daily basis, including in the field of, not only in the field of health sector, in the field of education, employment, and housing. Also, they go through lots of issues. The people discriminate a lot. When, let's say, for example, when we take about employment sector, so when, to maintain that status, to maintain that decorum in that the organization, the employees, the supervisors, the department used to neglect that person. They tell that, okay, this person has this issue, this person has this mental health issues, so he should not be there with us, and because this person's presence can, affect our mental health as well, so we should just, okay, so we should just neglect him and or throw out him from this institution. Okay, hi Jane, you're back. You are mute. Yeah. Okay, let me continue. So yeah, so we can see that to maintain the decorum, people just neglect, just pass different abusive comments to that particular person who is going through this kind of issues. Yeah. So, so protecting, when we tell about protecting and promoting the rights of people, we should actually protect this kind of situation. We should always promote or give that right to that people in this aspect of mental health. When they, let's say for example, when there is an employment sector, or when we are working in a housing or in an educational sector, even you can see that a small child is going through bullying and everything, right? Because they has this thing that, if bullying and lots of other things, other comments that has been passed by different students, different teachers, in that environment, the child is automatically going to develop negative things is in their life, negative thought process in their life. They will feel helpless, that is it me only that I face this situation, not others, right? So what, they themselves feel neglected, and others also they neglect them, and they discriminate them, and they put out, like, just go out of my friend circle and just be there wherever happens. Even the child develops develops their anxiety issues, trust issues with their friends, isn't it? So this is the root cause of, developing mental health conditions. And therefore, and also there are lots of problems. It can be social problems. It is, Okay, yeah. There are so many issues, like not only, in education sector. When we talk about some countries, they even prohibit people for voting, marrying, or having childrens. So even these issues are also even impacting their lifestyle, isn't it? Their mental health issues. We can see that, like this Taliban thing, right? I guess you are aware about it. Taliban is taking over this thing. So people of that area, okay, so the lifestyle has been different in that aspect, but now the lifestyle has been different. So mentally, they have been affected a lot. People, when they don't focus on their
Oh,
mental
great.
health
Yeah.
issues, they're not going to improve their physical health as well, isn't it? So this is the basic things
True.
that come into,
Yes, true.
when we talk about violating an issue or violating a particular environment, and don't focus on the mental health aspect. Okay, so also there are lots of problems going overall, like social problems like family separation, lack of safety, like loss of livelihoods. People are not even focusing on those things as well. Like if this guy is homeless, let him be homeless. Let's not focus on this person. Let's not talk to this. Like, let's say for example, when we go by a metro, or I have recently just came from a restaurant right now, having my lunch. Then there was a lady coming to me and telling that, please take my pens, please buy my pens. Okay, so the thing is that people sometimes ignore their mental health issues, their the way they live, their situation is. So they just ignore it. That they don't think that these people exist in their life, exist in the society. So they just neglect those person, and because of this
Right.
negligency, people are bound to take different steps in their life and get into different wrong they take wrong steps in their life, isn't it? Because the society is not accepting them.
Yeah,
I hope I'm making sense,
exactly.
Jane.
Yes, you are. You are making sense.
Yeah, so that's it. Like, there are different people, like different things, different issues connected to one issue. Not only one issue is only there is only one cause for them, one issue, right? One
Okay.
this thing. There are interconnected issues, there are interconnected causes for that issue. So therefore, people, like, we in this mental health field should always try to understand their situation, accept them in our society, so that they can process whatever they are going through right now. They should get that rights, that they are also a part of the society, and they can also earn their livelihood the
Great.
way we are doing right now, taking correct steps, making them aware that this is not correct, this is
Okay.
wrong. Even if you are from a high standard family or low standard family, you should always, if someone is coming to you asking for something, if it's wrong, you should just take this issue with you and tell them that this is wrong and you should not opt for this, and take the step. Or either you go for help, or go for a mental, like doctors, to get in help, or either you help them. If you are have that access, that resources to help that person, you can do that, so that they can feel that yes, we are the part of the society, isn't it? Okay, someone thinks about us, so that yes, someone thinks about us, someone is there to
Great.
tell us
So
that this
they
is
feel
right and this is
protected and
wrong.
their rights promoted.
Yes. So, yeah. So that's what I want to say on this question, that we should
Great.
always uh, accept those person, understand their situation, tell them what is right and what is wrong. If possible, if we can do it from our side, so that they feel like a home, in this particular society. And through this way, we are going to have a very less amount of mental health issues in our society, isn't it? and different disabilities.
Great. Thank you so much. So you,
Yeah. So,
yes, right.
and also I would
So
like to
thank you
add
so
some
much. You
points
have talked
here.
of.
Yeah. Yeah, you were telling something, Jane?
What did you? Yes, so I was saying thank you so much. You have talked of society accepting these people who are suffering from mental health conditions or even psychosocial disabilities. Like society needs to accept them and tell them right to wrong, the difference from right to wrong, right? Very
Yes,
true.
yes.
So now, Trishna,
We should raise
um,
awareness actually.
community
You should
community
change your
self help
attitude.
and social
Yes.
awareness, great. Their perspection, great. Okay.
Yeah.
So can I now
Actually,
move to the
we
next
should
question?
empower the people with mental health conditions. Like
Oh,
government should also take some initiatives to that, right? Even government should put some policies, put some basic, instructions regarding to mental health in different institutions, like in education institution, in
uh-huh.
either in educational, in employment sector, in housing sector. They should always keep this policy, this legislation, that yes, if you have any problem or issue, there should be a support group in each and every in every organization, so that this issue can be addressed in that organization itself, and give some mental support so that they can overcome from this issue, isn't it? And people always think that we should
Great.
always
Yes,
go
very
for
true.
psychiatric, we should always go for doctors, psychiatric, hospitals. No, people sometimes doesn't require hospitality, doesn't require hospitals, doesn't require a psychiatric department for that. Sometimes the cure, the therapy is in their home or in that organization itself. Okay, so it's not necessary that the person should always go to
Great.
hospitals to cure his or her problems. This can be cured from the society itself. If we implement such kind of community care in our society, so why the person should go to the psychiatric department each and every time and spend a lot of money there, right? So that space should be given to that particular individual in this society, so that they can freely talk about
Yes,
their mental
right.
health conditions. Yeah,
Right. So that exactly leads me to my next question.
yeah.
So yes, my next question is that community self help and social support should be strengthened. Community self help and
Yes.
social support experience that you can recall, relate, or even explain to our audience today. Please go ahead.
Community self-help and social support should be strengthened absolutely. As I told you, it's an important thing or important part of our society actually. Because why? You, as I told, because all medicines, yeah, you can see that in our, when we had some issues in our family, or let's say for example, I'm taking up example of a cancer patient. Some cancer patients recover very easily because they have that positive aspect in their mind, that I have to I have to cure myself by just focusing on myself, my mental health, and just work on it. And just let's not focus on what I'm dealing with. Let's focus what can I do in my later life, so that I can lead a better life in my, the life that I have right now, so that I can make it more beautiful, isn't it?
Yes,
So
right.
that is what, the things are not always for medications or not for therapies. The therapy or the cure or any kind of support is coming from the back, like the family, the friends, the community, the society, the mindset of the society. Okay, so I can tell you, I can relate. I'll tell you one instance in my uh, like in my field, that when I am into this teaching aspect, the teaching line. So there is in that school itself, there are lots of issues going with the students. Okay, they have. I went through a survey. I did a survey, and I got to know that the students are facing a lot of issues in their family issues. They have like grief. They are unable to tackle with their exam anxieties, family problems with their father, mother, violence. Everything is there. Everything exists there, and also there are severe mental health conditions, like let's say anxiety, depression, and everything. Okay, so what I did is that we don't need therapies, we don't need medications. My motive was that we should be there with them, so that we can give a push, we give a gear to them when they are need. And I have formed a group called peer support group in that institution itself, with the help of the principal. And I have just give a glimpse that this is the, this is the group which is meant for only the students, the teachers. It's not only meant for students itself, it is meant for teachers also, the staffs, everyone who is there in that particular institutions. Okay, so that if you have any kind of issues, you can come to that group, or come to us, and we'll talk, we'll just share our feelings, so that someone can listen to us, what we are going to meet in every institution, I feel. So that people, every time people doesn't need, suggestions, they want someone to listen their issues, right? I guess you can, you sometimes have that point that you don't
Yes,
need to,
right.
you don't want any suggestion from anyone, but you just want other person to listen you what you're going through, isn't it? Your problems you're facing right now,
Oh, yeah. Yes,
right?
of course. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Very true. Yes.
So exactly the same thing should be in the society, isn't it? Don't you think so?
That is very
So
true.
yeah. So I would
I
like to give a,
affirmative.
yeah, just like I would like to give a glimpse of how, how a society or community helps groups should be formed. That, this group should be formed to give some positive aspects, some skills to develop, problem solving skills, life skills. Okay, is that if you have such kind of issues in your in your family, so if you have this kind of family like issues in their family, so this way you are going to, tackle these things, divide the problems, communicate with your family, communicate with your mom, communicate with your dad, or if you have any issues with your friends, communicate with your friends. These are what, these are problem solving skills that we teach in that groups, that social support groups, so that they can have that, that sense of worth, that someone is helping us, also listening to us, isn't it? So this kind of emergency relief or learning new skills
Yes,
will
yes.
help people get involved, and reduce the, reduce the mental health condition, like mental health issues that prevailing in our society. Right. Psychological first aid is a very important aspect here, actually. Psychological first aid means it offers you the emotional and practical support, isn't it? Someone should understand your emotional needs, what you're emotionally going through in that particular
Yes.
situation. Someone should support you in that situation. That is called our psychological first aid. First aid that we have for our physical health, also there is a first aid for psychological health, isn't it? So that your emotional and practical needs are being
Yes.
listened, been addressed, and people like mental health professionals should always put this aspect, the first aspect, that we should always support not only psychological background, but also in each and every sectors, in corporate sectors, in educational sectors, in house, in your family members. Everyone should know about this, that emotional needs are very important, the social practical support is very important in our life,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Yes, right. Okay, great. So moving to my next question. Thank you so much, Trishna. Moving to my
Thank
next
you.
question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, question is, despite their tragic nature and adverse effects on mental health, emergencies have shown to be opportunities to build sustainable mental health system for all people in need. What do you think about the same?
Okay. Despite their tragic nature and adverse effects on mental health, emergency have shown to be opportunities to build sustainable mental health systems for all people in need. And thank you so much to ask me that question. And I guess I have covered up this question in my earlier, like whatever I told you right now, that emergencies is somewhere, there should be an emergency point. And let's say for example, I would like to tell you one thing here. When people has this, need, people has doesn't have this access, and people are also financially unstable to get access to this mental health field or mental health professionals. So always there should be a backup, like if someone is coming to me, okay, so if I'm unable to process or unable to diagnose that situation, or my fees are high, always I should refer to someone else, someone who can address their situation, or who, like, according to their financial state, I should refer to those persons whom I know, isn't it? Rather than taking the same fees from them, because I know that they are not able to provide me the same
Yes,
resources that
great.
I want right now, right? So I should always, I should always
Yes,
refer.
right.
And I can see there are many mental health professionals. Sometimes what they do is that they are like, they make the other person feel that they should pay me the bills, they should pay me this fees, and they just take these clients and they're unable to diagnose it properly, they doesn't have this proper training and all this excess educations, so they diagnose improperly and come up to an adverse effects, isn't it? And they have this different effects of them in mental health conditions. So better,
Right.
you, if you are unable to unable to give a proper mental health proper therapy or therapy sessions, you should always refer to other persons, and this will make you feel better. And and also this is not, what, this is not fair to that person also, right? Because who is trusting you that you'll help him
That's
or
right.
help her, isn't it? So this is not fair for her as well, so you should always refer
Yes, right.
and tell them that you can yeah, you can go to them. I have different contacts in my list, I can refer you into the to other counselors who can access to your get, who can diagnose or will understand your problem much better way in more than me. And I feel if you have any issue, or if you have any problem in your while accessing to you can again come to me and I'll help you more, isn't it? So this been lacking behind
Yes,
in this
true.
society, because people, because of business money making thing, what they do, they take the clients and they just messed up with the clients, and the things that the outcome, the output, it gets more affected, isn't it? The conditions, the mental health conditions of that person get more affected. It's and it becomes unfair to that person
Yes.
as well, right? So that's why, as you asked these questions, that
Yes,
emergency
right.
have shown to be opportunities to build sustainable mental health systems. This is the way to build a sustainable mental health systems. Like, if you are unable to do, if you are unable to diagnose in a proper way, always refer, and always ask your therapies or your mental health counselor about their educational background or from where they are, so that you can get a glimpse that, okay, that this person addresses only these issues, right? So I just need to go for other counselors so that they
Yes.
can have a, idea that, okay, what counselor does, right? So this will, if this sustains, or if
Yes,
this
yes,
is
yes.
that is been done by each and every mental health professionals, of course, why not? We can build a very beautiful mental health systems in our society, and people can come us and we can help them, right?
Great, right. So need to know or rather to check the background of a mental health practitioner before taking the app so that they're able to meet our needs, right? That is very true, Trishna. So now, Trishna, earlier you mentioned to say mental health starts from childhood to adulthood. In with that statement, I have a question which reads: the consequences of not addressing adolescent mental health conditions extend to adulthood, impairing both physical and mental health and limiting opportunities to lead fulfilling lives as adults. So, do you agree, disagree, or agree to disagree to this statement? Did you hear me?
Consequences of not addressing adolescents. Yes, I did. It's a
Uh huh.
very important question, and thank you so much, Jen. Really yeah. So the consequences of not addressing to that adulthood, impairing both physical and mental health, and limiting opportunities to lead fulfilling life as adults. I do agree. It's a very important topic in the prevailing society, right? So whatever right now, let's say for example, if you have an issue,
Yes.
or if I have an issue, or other people who has an issue right now in his or her adulthood, that somewhere has a cause of childhood issues, childhood memories. They have some issues with the parenting styles, isn't it? The way they are being brought up, the conditioning, everything matters a lot in this process. So the consequences of not addressing it, yes, when people like, if a child when he is born, or he she is born, come to this world, see this world, always learn from their parents, isn't it? They imitate. They in that stage, what they do, they are the role model of the
Yes.
child, isn't it? And
Yes.
when these parents had already, they had an issue with themselves, this child is going to affect a lot, isn't it? And also the parenting styles, the child that
Yes.
has been
Very
brought
true.
up in their environment, it totally depends. It's very important to address those things, that in which way this person, this adolescent is been brought up, the way it's been treated, how this parents has been treated, their friend circles, isn't it? There are lots of aspects, not only family, it's also their friend circles,
Yes. True.
their personal life, how they're taking different situation, how parents are helping them to solve their real life issues, isn't it? So if they are unable to do this, those kind of situation, what they come up, they
Yes,
end up
very
with
true.
different mental health conditions, different mental health issues like depression, which is a common thing in the society. Depression, anxiety, uh, and also your relationship issues, isn't it? Relationship issues with the parents, separation, divorce, everything is very interconnected. So this is
Yes.
automatically is going to impact the child's mental health, and it has different outcomes. Like if the child has been conditioned in a proper way and he knows how to solve the problems, that's a good way. But if the child is unable to solve this problem, solve with their issues in their adolescence, so they are also unable to solve their real life issues in their adulthood as well. They have, if they have relationship, see for an example, if a child observe their mother and father fighting each and every time, right? When the child observe this parents, it's an absolute thing that this child is going to have an issue or trust
Mm-hmm.
issues with their life partners they are going to make in their adulthood, or they're going to connect, right? Are you there? Yeah, so let me continue. I guess Jane will join us shortly. Yeah. So these things are being observed. They may not know that they are observing, or they're taking, or the parents doesn't may not know that these have been observed by these children. But you should always know that your child is always observing you, your thought process, their thought process is always impacting the way, the action you do, the things you're showing to that child. So the child is going to have adverse effects in their later life. There could be trust issues, their commitment issues, their issues with tackling with their real life problems, how to tackle. They will lag behind in their problem solving skills, communicating skills. So when also the role of acceptance here, when a child is not being accepted by their family members, the issue he or she has, his emotional needs, obviously the person is going to get divert from you, from their parents or from their environment, and be an introvert and be there with him, or either get attached to some other stranger and make form a different relationship with that, and just detach themselves from their parents or from their other environment, from the other people, right? So there are lots of issues that has been going through. So always we should address the mental health issues of the adolescent, so that later life they doesn't have this, they doesn't have this effects on it, so that they can lead a good life. They have this decision power, they have this problem solving power, so that if this kind of situation occurs in their life, they can tackle it in a more appropriate way, healthy way, rather than taking taking those situation in an irrational way or unhealthy way. Because if there have been issue, the adolescent have this issue in their stage, they will be very aggressive, very dependent, very impulsive in their later lifehood. So this is just a glimpse that I have given. There are lots of issues that can be addressed in that adulthood if their mental health conditions are not been addressed in that particular age. So that's all.
Great. Thank you so much. Well said. Thank you. So now, Trishna, how do you view the integration of mental health into primary health care? and any prime areas to research on mental health psychologist. How do you view that?
How do we view the integration of mental health into primary health? I guess you told something like that, right? Okay.
Yes, into primary healthcare and any prime areas to research on mental health for budding psychologists. How do you view that?
Okay. How we integrate our mental health into primary healthcare and prime areas to research on mental health for budding psychologists. Okay. Mental health is, when we talk about mental is one of the biggest problem facing in this modern way. As we everyone knows about it, but often it is overlooked in terms of primary care, isn't it? Overlooked and it's been just neglected in
Yes.
the society. So, not only mental disorders that have heavy economic or social burden on the society, but there are few who need assistance with mental disorders actually should receive the treatment they require because they're lacking the proper appropriate therapies, appropriate treatment, isn't it? They in this society, in any hospital
Yes.
you go, the thing here is that they do the registration there, they go to the therapies, they have this format, a basic format, they follow this format, and then after that they plan out the interventions and they directly start with the interventions, right? But not always this format is been followed with each and every patients. There are different way to tackle in a different way to tackle with different patients, right? If you ask elderly people about those questions, they are not going to respond you so easily. It will take time, right? So we should know how to tackle this situation, this patients
Yes,
in
right.
different way. Yeah, you were telling something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say
So,
very
in order to close this of uh, gap of this, no, of this medical assistance that that need, we should always increase the access to mental health care. The mental health services always should be integrated with
great.
the primary healthcare through integrating or implementing different health policies, actually health policies, legislation and education of primary care workers. As we can see that when we form an insurance, you know that insurance, are you aware about it? Healthcare
No,
insurance and
please help
everything,
me explain.
are you aware about it?
No, I'm not aware.
Okay. So actually, do you know we have health insurance? If you get into some accidents or something, there is an health insurance for every individual.
Yes, yes, insurance. Yes,
Yeah, insurance.
yes,
Yes.
we do.
So in that
I'm
health
aware of that.
insurance, yes. So when I went through that health insurance policy of different organization provide different health insurance, right? So there, I guess it's very strange that they don't mention about mental health conditions there. They only mention about the physical disabilities, the physical injuries. If you have any physical
Yeah.
problems or physical issues, it doesn't.
Uh-huh.
They never mention about mental health conditions, isn't it? So I feel we should always integrate the
Yeah.
mental health into our primary healthcare centers, isn't it? The policies should be made in such a sequence that the mental health aspect
Yes.
should be there, isn't it? Because as I told you, mental health is a first priority
Very
of each
true.
and every individual. If you don't have this mentality or mental health, if you're not mentally stable, how you're going to be physically fit, how you're going to physically work, isn't it? So it should always form a very,
Yeah, right.
proper guidelines, proper policies should be there for mental health conditions as well, mental health aspects as well in our in every sectors, isn't it? And also your education is very important for primary
Yes.
care workers. Like if we integrate our mental health conditions into the primary healthcare, our nurses or our doctors should be well trained, well educated, so that they should know where to imply what. As I told you, they always have this
Great.
structured format that are you facing depression? No, yes, no. But this is not the way always can be implemented to every individual, right? Because every individual has different problems, different issues. They come with different issues. They have different mental set. So you should always know how to deal with that client in different way, different manner. It's not always, you should not always follow that structure format. You follow it, but there is a way to structure your questions or probe your questions in that manner that people is get interested in what you are asking, right? In what issues you were asking about, so that you can get more
Great.
detailed
Yes,
picture
right.
about that client, right? So that's what, like, you should always, if you want to
Yes, right.
integrate a mental health into primary policy, and education is very important in our primary healthcare centers.
Okay. Very true. Very true. Thank you so much, Trisha. I now move on to the last question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, mental health in an unequal world as our theme, right? So, what are your views on this year's theme? What are your views on this year's theme?
I can't hear you actually. Can you just?
So, I'm saying mental health in an unequal world. What is your view, or what are your views on this year's theme?
Okay, okay. So mental health in this unequal world, I have included a lot. I've included some basic points here. When we talk about unequal world, there are lots of discriminations, lots of issues, lots of society, lots of things going on in our world, isn't it? So also there are races, there are discrimination, there are stereotypical people
Yes, true.
revolving around in our society, isn't it? So through this through
Yes,
this
true.
platform, yeah, through this platform, I want to tell each and every individual out there that always seek help. If you are unable to, also I would like to give an information to our mental health professionals as well, that if a client is coming to you, always see their strata, okay, their economic conditions, and accordingly you should provide your therapy, your sessions accordingly. But if you are unable to, if you feel that you are not, like, it's not fair for you and fair enough for you also, so you can refer to different individuals, different like healthcare stress, because different mental health professionals, they have different techniques, different way to tackle each and every individual's problem or issue. There is Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, so thank you so much, Trishna, for saving us your time to be with us during this conversational webinar. Thank you so much for your answers to the questions, and we look forward to having yet another conversation with you. Right. Can you hear me? Trishna, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, so in conclusion, I believe we have got so much from today's conversational webinar. We have learned so many different solutions to this issue, like pertaining the mental health issue. Yes, we have learned to say society is the key, like is the cardinal, the most cardinal key into changing the perspective of people's attitudes towards mental health. We have also learned a solution that government should also put up policies that can help change society's thinking. Yes, we have also learned from Trishna to say mental health, of course, from childhood can affect somebody's adulthood, pertaining living a fulfilling and a healthy life. So thank you so much,
Yes.
Trishna. And also,
Thank you.
any radio is providing community. Yes, any radio is providing. Yes, any radio is providing community self-help and social support to all those that have overcome mental health. So for more information on that, you can contact any radio at any social platform that they own. And also, any
Correct.
question or you need any help pertaining mental health or other related issue to Krishna, if you would like to hear more from her, you can contact her at Therapeutic Couch. At Therapeutic Couch. So thank you very much,
Thank you,
ladies and
Jane.
gentlemen. Please and
Thank you so much. Happy World's Mental Health Day.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.